Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be unboxing October Glow from Cocoa Daisy and putting together a project. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, you guys, I'm super excited for this because October is very much just fall, everything. It's my favorite season. So I'm super excited to dive into these kits. I have taken a quick little peek in here, but I haven't really looked at everything in detail yet. As always, I'm going to do an unboxing of what I've gotten from Cocoa Daisy, and then I'll do a process video. If you want to skip just to the process video, the timestamp is in the description box below, so you'll know where to skip ahead to just watch that process video. Okay, so what I get from Cocoa Daisy is the washi trio, the stationery kit, the scrapbooking kit with the pocket card add-on, and the classic cousin sticker kit. So I'm gonna look at the classic cousin sticker kit first. So this kit is designed obviously for the Hobonichi cousin, but you can use it really in any journals or planners. You can use them in scrapbooking. I use them in my project life all the time. Basically, by having it called like the classic cousin sticker kit, the main point is that everything is totally flat, which is great for journals and planners when you don't want things to be too bulky. I love this sweater on, world off. So this is the first kind of look I'm having at this theme. So we can see like some super fall colors and emblems. We've got sweaters, leaves, pumpkins. These rectangles are designed for in the Hobonichi cousin on the weekly spreads. So I'm just gonna pull mine over here and go to it blank weekly. So these stickers fit perfectly right here if you want to put them on a sidebar and use this for journaling or planning. I don't typically use them in that way, but I like these in many places in my journals. You can use them in other brands as well. They're still just very universal. And then of course there's the labels, which I love in my project life. We have a second page like this. I love this one. More labels, these ones with a little bit more decor. This is a planner sheet. So we got some bullet point lists. There's always a sticker sheet that looks like this in this kit. So you've got some of these like icons with specific themes that you will probably have in every month. We've got these, which we always have a sheet that looks like this with some icons. And then you have your word phrase strips, which are some of my favorites. I love to use those in my project life. Then there's a sheet with some more planner icons. These I think are more, I think the main design of this is that these would be for your monthly and these are for your weeklies. I don't plan in that way, so I don't tend to use them like that, but they're still really nice to have. I love these ones. You've got a menu plan this week and next week, and I can use those in my functional planning or in even in scrapbooking, not necessarily the menu plan, but you could use this and say, these are the meals I had this week. But I will often use this week for like a highlights card in project life. And of course, you've got your days of the week headers. Then we've got some washi strips, an alpha, and some numbers. And then we have one sheet that is actual washi paper as opposed to these are like sticker paper. And this has some additional washi strips and some icons with sentiments. For my kits, as I'm working with them, I leave them in one of these trays. I will link this in the description box below if they're still available on Amazon. They are available pretty frequently on Amazon, but the price fluctuates a lot. You can find them other places as well. I'm spacing out on what the exact name is, but it will say in the description box below if you're looking for them. I use them for all of my current kits, whether it's Cocoa Daisy or other brands, and I will have them. I will add a label here so you can see this says Cocoa Daisy October 2025. I wrote in October Glow, and that is on there with just clear tape. So at the end of the month or whenever I'm done using this kit, I can remove that and use this tray again. Okay, now let's open the washi trio. Okay, I am a sucker for washi tape. It's one of my favorite supplies to use. So I always pick up the washi trio because it gives me a little bit extra washi. You typically get 3 rolls, and they are rolls from some of the other kits at times. So sometimes I end up with 2 of the same roll, but usually that doesn't happen with the kits I get. And when it does, I tend to not be bothered. I will either have a backup roll or I can gift one. I'm just gonna swatch them here in my cousin. So that one's a nice leaf pattern. Maybe should not have swatched these on tomorrow, which is in August, but still I'm looking forward to fall. So this one is like a photorealistic pumpkin patch. And then this third one here is a little bit different. We've got this kind of gingham plaid. This reminds me of like a picnic blanket. It's very like fall. There we go. Super cute. Okay, now let's open the stationery kit. Okay, so the stationery kit is a smaller size kit, a smaller price point than some of the other kits from Cocoa Daisy. So if you are new to Cocoa Daisy and you like scrapbooking, journaling, planning, all of those things, and you're not sure what to get, I recommend the stationery kit because it's usually a good mix of the patterns and styles and products, and there's a little bit of experimentation, but also some things that you know you can count on. So every month you get a transparency. This is a beautiful photorealistic pumpkin patch and a vellum. This is the nice like text vellum. And I'm a sucker for specialty papers, so I love those. There's a washi tape, which happens to be the same gingham that was in the washi trio. So I'm gonna put this in my stash of backups so that when I finish that first roll, I'll have a backup. We've got some sticker sheets. These are smaller than in the classic cousin sticker kit. We've got some icons. We've got leaves and birds. I love these pumpkins. Some tags. And then always one that is days of the week, which you can use for planners or journal pages, or I really like to use these on Project Life. There's always a notepad, and these are super fun because you get this nice kind of design sheet, and you have so many of them. You can use these in Project Life as repeated journaling spots, or I like to use them in my journal. You can like stick one right here and add some additional journaling. It's very fun for that. We've got this bow charm. These are fun on mini albums. A pin. Okay, so then we have this die cut pack. One thing I love about the die cuts from Cocoa Daisy is they are stickers, so you don't have to use any adhesive. We've got all of these leaves, birds, the same kind of icons that you have in the rest of the kit. And then this looks fun. Been seeing these in a few of these stationery kits, and these are always super fun. This is going to be a roll of die cuts, and it looks like these are like a PET tape. Yeah, this is a PET tape. So you've got leaves, pumpkins, birds, all the same icons, but look at this. So you can kind of see what they'll look like, and they're all individually cut stickers. These will be super fun to use. Now we've got the scrapbook kit. I'm gonna move this tray out of the way. So my first project that I'm gonna put together with you guys today, I'm just gonna use the scrapbook kit with pocket card add-on. These scrapbook kits always come in these nice envelopes, which are reusable, so you can keep your kit in there while you're using it, or extra pieces, or reuse them for something else. It's a nice little metal piece. We've got a washi tape. This one is not one that I already have. Ooh, I love this one. Look at that. I wish this was the one that I had two of. but that's okay. Still very pretty. Then we've got a die cut pack. Looks like this is the same die cut pack as in the stationery kit, and usually they are not the same, so I'm a little surprised by that, but that's what it is this month, and that's okay. Here's another one, these metal tags. So the scrapbook kit always comes with some similar items that are in every single kit, and then there's always a few fun ones that are thrown in so you can try some new things. So let's see here. We've always got rub-ons, which I really love that Cocoa Daisy still includes rub-ons, because these used to be some of my favorite, and then brands kind of stopped making them for a long time. And I'm just super thrilled that they're in here because they're so fun to use. You can use them in your journals really easily because they don't add any bulk at all. It's as if it was printed on the page. You can also use them on top of photos, which I recently found out, or earlier this year. And I love them so much like that. Okay, so these kits come with 2 sheets of white 6x8 cardstock, which is just a great basic to have. And then 6 pattern papers that are double-sided. You've got 2 of each pattern. A stamp set, chipboard sheet, a die cut alpha. Again, these are stickers, and they've had these in the past. These are always so fun. Enamel dots. They had to have these in every single kit, and then they had stopped for a while. I'm happy to see them back because they're really fun for making bullet point lists. This looks like some vellum pockets. Might use these in my journal. And then we have the Project Life cards. Move my journal out of here. Okay, that's a look at the entire collection. I'm gonna go ahead and move to my computer quickly and get some photos printed, and I will pop back on here to put together a project for my daughter's album. Okay, I know this is a little tight on my desk here, but I wanted to just kind of show you where I am in adding in to my daughter's album. So this is what I put together last month using the September kits from Coco Daisy. And if you missed that, I do have a process video for that with my Coco Daisy unboxing for September. You don't want to miss those kits, because they are so cute. So this is September, so just like before that. So August, I do still have a gap here. But here's September, and then I have these two layouts that I made in October of 2021 using Ali Edwards products. So I don't recall, I think this is like the Words story kit or Write, something like that. But I thought this was I'm so happy I made this because my daughter was a teenager at this time, and anyone who's been around teenagers knows that they say a bunch of weird words all the time. There's always new slang. So these are the slang that she was using at the time. I think some of these are still around and other ones are not, but I was really happy with how that one came out. And then I have this layout here that I did using another story kit for October. So I just wanted to keep in mind that I have this one with this photo from October, so I don't need to pull that one in. And I have this story from October. And this was just kind of like about being a teenager and how difficult that is. So I have my divided page protector here that's blank, and that is for my stories today that I'm going to put together. And then beyond that, I have this story I told of cross country. And so my daughter did cross country. This is her junior year of high school. And so I did this spread using one of the story kits from Ali Edwards. I think this was like Glow. And I believe I used the digital kit here. And I made this divided page protector. I have this pocket with some stuff in here. We've got like her times and all of the meets that she did. We've got a couple bibs, some awards, all in here. And then on the back, I have another bib here. And then this large 12 by 12 picture that I love. So I have this story. And then I also have this story, which is from October, where we went to New Jersey to go to a wedding. And Summer and her cousin are less than 6 months apart. And just like how they really clicked and get along really well. And they were both excited to go to this wedding, even though they're around just a bunch of adults, because the two of them got to hang out. And they didn't live in the same state. They still don't. They're both away at college now, but he lives in Vermont. Or he did. So they didn't see each other that often. So I did this with another story kit. So I have these photos in here that were from October. A lot of these are also from October. And then this one. So I know when I'm putting this spread together, I don't need to pull in those same photos, but I want to tell the rest of my October stories. So I'm just going to kind of move this out of the way so I can go ahead and work on that. Okay, so now I have this page out and I have the photos I printed. So I printed this photo, which was from that wedding that we went to. And all the ones that were on that spread I did were her and her cousins. So this was one of her with me. And then I wrote down a list of stories in I keep a random just notebook to write down stories. And so these were all of the stories that happened in October 2021 related to her. So I made notes in here that I already kind of documented some of these things. So there was a lot going on with cross country. Obviously, I already documented that. There was the wedding, so I did print this one photo. We went to a birthday party for a kid that she babysat a lot. So I have a photo of the three of us there. These photos are from homecoming. So she had homecoming and we had her friends over to our house to get ready. And let's see, this one's also from homecoming. I might do like something like this and then do a homecoming story. And then we've got, I've got a lot of photos here. So I printed quite a few, but let's see. So then we do have some cross-country stories. Let's see, let's find. There's this October one. So I always like to use these for my title card. I could go smaller and use a 3x4 just to have more space, but I really want to use this one. I like it a lot. And then I want to do maybe 2 journaling cards, one about homecoming and then one about just like other stories. So I might put these up like this, maybe something like that, so I can put the other one there. So let's look through what we have here for the journaling cards. are always in such a mess on my desk because I lay them out so you can see them all. So that one might be good for the homecoming. So there's a lot going on for homecoming this week or this month. So there was the homecoming spirit week, which she dressed up for. There's a pep rally, which she did because of her cross country, which there's pictures of that in that cross country spread. And she went to the football game. And then of course there was the dance, and we hosted getting ready at our house. Then let's see, we have some other stories. So let's see. I like both of these. I could also use this as a title if I wanted to put another journal card. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind in case I can't figure out what I want. But I do like this one, would make a nice bullet point list of just these other stories from the month. This one I think I want to use on a different spread. I love that one. This one would also be nice. Fall bucket list. Kind of going through the options here. This one might be good for homecoming. I like that one, but it's not just one day, so this one might be better, and I could put like a title on there. This was Halloween. Wondering if I could crop this down and make it fit on this photo. Feel like I can make that work. Okay. So I think that is good as a starting place. I don't need this one. And what I need to do is, because I have so many photos, I want to include some additional things on my photos to make it less photo heavy. So I might, like back one of these on something else. Let's see, this doesn't look like I cropped it perfectly. So I'm gonna fix that. And then I need some just washi tape for my stash. Or here, I'll just use this one quickly. So these two photos will be up here at the top. And then we have these two for homecoming. I'm thinking maybe though of putting like a pattern behind that one just to make it less photo heavy. So I'm thinking I can maybe use like this. I really like the browns, and normally I'm not a huge brown person, but for this kit, I'm really liking them. I'm just gonna crop this to a 4x6. And then what I'm gonna do is, so this photo is of her with her friends at homecoming, and I think they were just like at the school. And so I think the kids, I remember the kids being not too thrilled with how homecoming came out. This was 2021, so it was still during COVID, and the school wanted to have a homecoming dance, but they weren't able to do like a venue and everything like they'd done in the past. They had to limit who could attend. They couldn't bring dates from other schools. I remember there were just so many restrictions that the kids just didn't have that good of a time. So they just kind of hung out outside at the school because they were able to take their masks off if they were outdoors. So here was just a photo of them there with the lights. And because it's all red, I maybe should have turned this photo to black and white so he didn't have that red tint, but I think it's okay. I think it'll work. It's not straight. There we go. Okay, then let's see, what do I want to do next? I need to put the title Homecoming on here. Let me figure out how I want to add that. I'm thinking I'm going to add need some alphas. And I try to use just the scrapbook kit so you can see kind of what that looks like, but I really think I need to use some other alphas. So I think I'm gonna bring in these orange ones. Okay, so when I want to write something with alpha stickers and I'm not sure how much space it's going to take up, I will put it on the edge of something plastic so I can center it. So I feel like that's too big. So I'm just going to go on the side here. And then I can center it where I want it. And there we go. That's perfect. Now I can just do my homecoming journaling right there, which I'll do that in a moment. And then I need to add my 2021 on here, which I'll do that with my little stamps like I normally do. And then this, I wanted to do a title for this one. So let's get my scissors. So I love using the Project Life cards to cut stuff out, because that way you can fit so much more in your, use so many more of your products in your spread, and you can personalize them to fit your story. So I want to put this here. The problem is this photo, I should have cropped it differently and I didn't, but that's okay. I'm going to make that work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paper. This is extra white cardstock, and I'm going to cut it to 4x6 because this is in a 4x6 pocket. Even though I don't need, I could just do the 3x4, but because I'm doing the 4x6 pocket, I might as well do this. I could just do 2 3x4s and adhere them together with tape like I did the other ones. Well, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adhere this guy on here for my journaling. I'm going to use the washi tape to create a little bit of extra background. This might not make sense as I'm doing it, but once I'm done, you'll get it. It'll make sense. So I like to use just my ruler to tear it off like that. And I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 rows just to be safe. I don't think I need 2 rows. I think I might just need the one. But I might go into the other one a little bit. And then I'm gonna trim this photo down. Trim off the bottom, whatever I can afford to lose. And then I'm just gonna stick this down right here. And you can see that edge is not perfect, that's fine. I will fix that. This is why I like building on the background canvas, because even though it does add a little more bulk in the pocket, it's going to make it just easier to build your spread. There we go. Okay, so now I need the Halloween thing that I cut out. There it is. I'm just gonna stick this right here, and I will cut it off the top. So this acts as an embellishment on this photo from Halloween. And it also just gives me a little bit of overlap. So because I'm using 4x6 pockets here, I can treat them like this as 2 completely separate 3x4 cards. But here I was able to kind of have an embellishment that goes across both cards and just utilizes the fact that it is in fact a 4x6 pocket. So I need to do my journaling on here and my journaling on there. And I might, let's see if I want to add anything else. Maybe like this is super cute to add on here. If I wanted more background, I could see cropping this one down as well and doing something like this, but I think it's enough broken up because I do have these. This one I feel like would have been good to do it, but I think I don't want too many like that, but because it's also the red and there's some extra space. So I don't think there's really anything I want to put on this one embellishment wise. Got our die cut pieces. I could put like one of these, but I think that those are good. This is good like this. And then I need to do my journaling, and I might do a few last minute embellishments at the end, but let me just go ahead. I'm gonna put you guys in voiceover as I do my journaling. I think I'm gonna use these as bullet points. So this is a Sarasa clip. It's from the vintage set, and there's a lighter brown, and this is like a very dark brown. Actually, maybe I'll use the light brown. Here's the lighter brown. I like both, but this one is definitely gonna look more brown. And then I can use these to make some bullet points here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys, or I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up so I can do my journaling, and then we'll get this one completed. Okay, so I got most of this one put together with you guys in real time, and I like to do that when something is coming together quickly, because then you have my real in the moment thoughts as I'm putting the layout together, rather than my voiceover thoughts later when I'm editing the video, which can be a couple days later or sometimes a couple weeks later, depending on when I get to it. So I don't always remember exactly what I was thinking at the time that I was doing the layout. So for this one, all I pretty much have left to do is my journaling, and I do often save my journaling for the end because it's kind of my least favorite part. I love having the words in my album, and I really love journaling, but I do a lot of journaling in my journal. And on my scrapbook pages, I feel like the journaling piece is just kind of slowing me down. So I do include it, and I do like having it there when I'm looking back at my layouts, but I often do it at the end just because I don't know, I'm putting it off. Sometimes I do it throughout, and you've seen that in previous videos if you watch, because my hand does get tired, or I'm trying to gauge how much space I need for the journaling when I'm doing my layout. But for this one, I knew I really wanted 2 journaling cards. I have this longer one that I'm working on now, which includes an overview of homecoming from the month, and then the other one is a bullet point list. So when I'm doing pocket page journaling, whether it's in Project Life or these monthly recaps or whatever it is, I am thinking about my journaling in the sense of themes. So for this card here, the theme is homecoming, which was a big theme in my daughter's life during this October. And there were a lot of little stories related to homecoming that happened this month. So I'm able to bring them all together on this one card and tell a bigger picture story that includes all of the little things, like the fact that she dressed up for Spirit Week and she was part of the pep rally, and then she went to the homecoming game and she went to the homecoming dance. All of these photos I have here are from the homecoming dance. I didn't include any of the other homecoming photos on the spread because I had a lot of photos from this month, which I tend to have a lot of photos from every month, so it's hard to narrow it down to fit in one pocket page. But I wanted to include those homecoming dance photos more than some of the other ones. When I'm choosing my photos for a spread like this, I'm thinking about what will my daughter want to see if she's looking back on these albums. Most of my scrapbooking I do for me. I have been scrapbooking since before I had a daughter, and my daughter is now an adult and doesn't live at home, and I'm still scrapbooking my life and not so much of hers because I'm not as big of a part of her life anymore. But for this particular set of albums for her, she is my audience. So I am thinking about what she will want to see and what she will want to remember and what words she will want to hear from me. So although this is her album, it is still from my perspective. So I do know that a lot happened during this month that I am not necessarily privy to because she was a teenager and she had drama with her friends and maybe a guy. And, I don't really remember all of the things that were going on in October of 2021. But if you are a parent of teens, you know that, they only tell you what they want you to know. And I'm sure there were other stories from this month that she will remember. But for me, creating this album, I'm creating it from my perspective. So this is what I remember from October of 2021, what I remember us doing, what I remember her doing, what I remember being important. And I want her to look back on this and remember and see all of the things we did as a family, the things she did with her friends, and the bigger pieces of her life. As a teenager, she struggled a lot. So I do make note of that in her album, but I also want to highlight the positive things more so than the negatives, of course, because like I said, this is something I want her to be able to look back on and remember her teenage years. And I feel like I have captured that in putting these spreads together. On this card here, I am doing some bullet point journaling, which is basically I'm creating a list and I'm using these dots as bullet points of various stories from the month. So just kind of the overview highlights of everything that happened this month. Some of them go with the photos. Some of them go with the photos and some of those other spreads that I showed earlier in this video. And some of them have no photos at all. But I just want her to have a little bit of context of these are the things going on at this point in time in her life. One of my bullet points is alluding to the fact that she got in trouble and she was grounded at the end of October. And I didn't want to go into too much detail in that. And I did have that other layout about being tough to parent a teen who's going through a lot. But she did get into trouble a lot. And I wanted to make reference to that because I'm thinking as an adult, looking back on my teen years and remembering the types of things that I got in trouble for and how it impacted my life. And I just want her to kind of have context for everything that's going on. So while October was a very busy and full and fun month, she did get grounded at the end of the month, which I think is probably going to show up in the November spread because there will likely be less photos with friends and more photos with her family. I'm wrapping up this spread and I'm just trimming everything to fit and slipping it into the pockets. I really like the balance of colors across the spread. I like how the kit really made this feel fall themed, even though a lot of the photos were indoors or not really fall themed at all. And I really like the balance of words and photos and decor. Here's a look at how the spread came together. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye.